Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stone Mountain 64, and this is Monday's View from the Mountain. Some Modern Warfare 3 flawless Moab gameplay. I think this is from my hidden, never been uploaded Modern Warfare 3 footage. I had a lot of this, and I just started cutting off doing it. But yeah, last commentary went over good. The week before, though, went particularly good. And like I always say, I base my videos off of what you guys are enjoying, what you guys are rating up, and the college, high school, school tips, the feedback that I gave you was awesome. So I might even make a separate playlist within my Monday's View for the Mountain, so you guys can check those out if I do decide to continue on this. If you did enjoy it and go on to enjoy this video, let me know with the rating. But I thought I would address some of the comments that you guys left on it, because there's a ton of really good ones. It was awesome to hear where you guys were actually from, where you were in school. Definitely kind of junior year to sophomore year, junior year high school, sophomore year college seemed to be the main range you guys were in, which was awesome. A lot of people from around the world watching as well, which is super cool. I think a lot of these things that I'm talking about just apply in general, not necessarily to the system, although the first tip I'm going to mention definitely does. Choose your teachers wisely. When you get into college, you can actually choose what teachers you're going to get. If you haven't ever used it, RateMyProfessors.com or RateMyProfessor, this website is the best thing ever. I mean, I studied this almost as much as I studied for my first test every single year. I guarantee it. I spent so much time on this website reviewing every single option, because there's a lot of, especially in your first few years, there's a lot of different classes you can take. Besides just, you know, what teacher, you can choose the class as well, for a lot of them at least. So, like, you have to do 2 science classes. So I chose to do geology because this teacher was rated amazing. My favorite teacher I ever had. I think I got 110% in the class. I'm not even kidding, because he had extra credit on everything. And then there was some extra, like, outside activity things you could do. I did those, and I absolutely loved the class because it was such a good teacher. He was such an expert and taught it so well that I almost never had to study. Just a quick review of the notes, and I aced everything. It just stuck with me so well because he explained it so well. And not only does it help you in terms of grades, but it helps you in terms of, you know, because you can find somebody who's not such a terrible teacher, but a lot of times those reviews will be pretty good. And sometimes they're for actually different colleges if the teacher had just started working here or whatever. You might have to do some digging in, but really spend time on it. It's so worth it, because you spend that much time there, you're going to have a better teacher, better classroom experience. You'll actually go to the class. And that is so significant, which leads me to my next thing. Go to every single class. I don't even know if I mentioned this in the last one, but I can't tell you how many times. In one of my classes, it was a simple 100 level philosophy class. The teacher gave us 2 tests the entire time, both written. You didn't even have to type it. You could handwrite it. I did it while I was in class. I literally wrote the thing out and turned it in for my final a week before, and I didn't show up after that. But I went to every single, there's like 20 people in the class. 10 people showed up every week because there was no attendance. This guy was so laid back. It was exactly what you would expect from a philosophy class, okay? And half the people didn't show up, but they didn't read either, so they had no idea what was going on. And I just was paying attention to what he was saying, I mean, it was so weird and complex of what he was saying. Like, I got a lot of it. I did some of the readings at the beginning until I figured out these 2 tests and how the class worked and how to get an A in it. And then I pretty much just rewrote everything that he was saying from all of my notes that I had taken. I didn't understand what all of it meant, but I just wrote it down exactly how he said it, and he gave me an A+ in the class and loved me. It was that simple. But showing up to every single class, and even if you are in a giant class, maybe it's not 20 people, sit in the front every time. It'll make you pay attention. And like I was saying last time, if you guys are auditory learners, even in the slightest, I mean, if you're watching this video, I think you might be at least somewhat of an auditory learner. If you sit in the front of the class, it'll like force you to pay attention. If you pay attention the entire time, that was like my main source of studying, was paying 100% attention for the entire hour and 15 minutes. And that was like complete study session right there. Absorbed as much as I possibly could, took as best notes as I possibly could, didn't even look at my phone pretty much no matter what. and gave it everything that I could. Even if it wasn't completely relevant, even if it was super boring, I really tried my best, tried to make it interesting, tried to just understand it. And that's another thing too. If you really focus on understanding it, like you might not even really understand what that means. If you focus on completely understanding why something's happening in math, for example, or the background before the history of whatever's being explained, or if a lot of times a teacher will reference something that you might not even know. And especially when you start getting up to upper levels, it's so helpful to have that knowledge of more basic things, the things you pick up in high school that might seem completely irrelevant. They can be used as a reference point to help you learn things faster when you get to the more advanced things. I mean, everything compounds on itself. That's something huge that I absolutely believe, just like compounding money, which you guys might learn about in finance. I think you can absolutely compound intellect as well, and learning all of those basic things allows you to jump to conclusions faster as you, maybe not jump to conclusions, but connect the dots faster or wrap your head around things quicker when you get to some of these more advanced things. So absolutely take as much as you can seriously and do as best as you can as early as you can. I didn't have the best high school or experience in terms of going all out 4.6. I don't think it's necessary. I didn't do it, and I did excellent in college, but I did pretty good in high school too. So yeah, that was this week's video. If you guys want to check out the last one, link is in the description down below. I'll put that as the recommended video if you want to hear my first talk. And then the previous video will actually be my last view from the mountain, where I was talking about gaming a little bit more, if you want to hear some more about that. Thanks so much for watching, though. Sorry I was a little bit stuffed up. I've been sick, and I've recorded this late after working late twice in a row, but definitely enjoying it and having a good one. Hope you guys are too, and I'll see you in the next video. This is StoneMountain64, signing out.